one day, and then you can go to iTunes and you can buy everything that Jessie has out. You can just make your coffee for that day. And this is a threat if you don't, because it's wrong to go out and steal somebody's music. Now, you can download this software and easily just take somebody's music off the internet. But if you like what Jessie does, you're kind of defeating the purpose, because if you go in there and steal his music, he's not going to be able to produce anything else. So it's so important to get out there and buy this stuff. And if you don't do it, Aria, Jessie, and myself, we will hunt you down. It'll be worse than the Walking Dead, than the zombie apocalypse.
We'll find you.
We will. And I'll lead the way. So, and that's really what it boils down to. I mean, if everybody that loves your stuff just bought it instead of stole it, you would be okay. So, and that's sort of our message, I think, for anybody that's in the music industry. I don't care how successful you are. I think it's important to buy the stuff and support those people. Now, Aria, you're not out of the woods. So, if you had a chance to sit down for 5 minutes, who would it be with?
With Amy Grant.
Amy Grant. Why Amy Grant?
I had a conversation with Jessie about her just the other day. The recent I grew up listening to Amy Grant, and she has gone through many, many changes as a musician. And one of the things that she received a lot of criticism for was crossing over her market.
Sure.
And some people called her traitor. Some people judged her. I think it greatly impacted her influence in Christian music. And the other day, as Jessie and I were having a conversation about where was he wanting to go in the next 5 years, the first question I asked him was, do you want to count yourself as a Christian musician, or do you want to count yourself as a Christian and a musician? Because I remembered Amy Grant. So I would love to have a conversation with her about how her choices, if she could change them, what she would have done differently, or if she had any regrets. And also, she was a huge collaborator. She collaborated on a lot of projects with a lot of other artists. And so I'd love to find out more about her experiences as a woman, as a collaborator, as a crossover market musician, and things like that.
Sure. I've had Gary Chapman on the show.
I love his music. Absolutely love his music. He was my second choice, but I went for the girl.
Yeah, I had Gary on. I guess it was a few months ago. Had him on the show. He's a really nice guy. Super nice guy. Okay. And the crossover thing. I don't know why people get so tore up over that.
They get so bent over it.
And I don't know why. I mean, if somebody wants to sing a song, you can't. If your mind and your heart want to go a certain way, why don't they just let you do it? I mean, even with Taylor Swift, she catches so much flack for what she does. But if that's what she wants to do, then let her do it. I don't understand what the problem is.
Well, with her, it has more to do with how she wants to position herself as her looks. The fact that she wants to have a more classic, older look, that's where she's getting her slack. But I think that, not to digress into it too much, but I think for Christian musicians, it becomes a tightrope for them. They end up being stuck if they position themselves as a Christian musician, Christian music, then if it ends up going mainstream, or if they choose to go mainstream, it's almost like they're a traitor to their community, which it shouldn't be that way at all.
No,
so
not at all.
One of the things that I've, as Jessie's, friend and his advocate, and also I'm now helping him with managing his future, the big question that I had with him was, how do you want to position yourself? Because that could greatly influence the way that your reputation will be held for years to come.
And I would think too, being a Christian artist, if you had a chance to do a couple of crossover songs, you're just going to get your message out there even more. I would think. Well,
Jessie decided that for him, he's a Christian, but his music is mainstream music, and if whichever community would like to invite his music to play, he'd be happy to let them do that. But he wants to kind of like, the melting pot of Americans, he wants to hold that same philosophy in his music.
Sure.
He's a melting pot. And that's why he has all these diverse influences in his background. I mean, Johnny Cash and Green Day on the same sentence. That's pretty crazy, Right.
Well, they're both cool.
They are very cool, but look what they both, one's country and the other one is extremely eclectic.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm getting picked on in the chat because I used to have a co-host on the show, Allie, and she would always do the "I'll hunt you down" thing, and they're saying that she did a better job than me. And that's just wrong, isn't it?
Just wrong.
But Allie's sitting here listening right now, though. She's just smiling, cheek to cheek. So that's just how it goes here sometimes. It's so much fun having both of you on the show. We've still got about 25 minutes, and if anybody has any questions at all for Aria or Jesse, just let us know, and I'll make sure I pass those along to them. Now, your music, it's very uplifting, and it's very inspirational, and at the very least, it puts you in a good mood. The next song I'm going to play, it's called "Free Your Mind," and that's number 2 on my list. So we're narrowing it down. So what's "Free Your Mind" about?
Free Your Mind, I was going through a little bit of trouble in my life at the time, and at the time I was with a girl, and she was having some problems with her family, and I was just thinking, like, all the negativity that goes on in your life, sometimes you just gotta get away from it and just kind of free your mind, to be honest, just kind of break away from that negativity and just breathe back in fresh positivity. And with me, that's like music, like doing music, and that kind of just came out of me in a time where I needed to free my mind. So those lyrics are very real to me.
Sure. Now I've got another tough question for you before we play the song. I like surprising you like this. I want to keep you on your toes. So, out of all the fans that you have, and Aria may glare at you when I ask you this, so you may not want to look at her. Who's your biggest fan?
Who's my biggest fan?
Yep.
Oh, I already know. Shout out to my boy Nick in Sebring. He is he reminds me of me at 16. He's such a good kid, and I go visit Sebring and play for them every now and again. But he's always up to date. He's liking all my statuses. I even send him in the mail. Like anytime I get a new shirt or new merchant, I send it to him in the mail, and he loves it. And he always gives me back positive feedback. But I feel like ever since I was just starting out, he was just lifting me up and inspiring me to keep going and be successful. So definitely I'd say Nick from Sebring.
Nice. If you just tuned in, we're talking to Jesse Lopez, we're talking to Ari on the show, and you need to go back and listen to this whole program because it's such an inspirational story. And Jesse, you are so talented and you're a great role model. And I'm just going to throw that out there again. Now, this is called Free Your Mind, Jesse Lopez on the Chris Top program. Woo!
I've been hurt, I've been down, I've been lost, and I've been bound. I've seen pain, and I've felt
right, once again, that's Free Your Mind, Jesse Lopez on the Chris Top program. Such inspirational stuff. And I've got a question in the chat from Martin. He says, Jesse, what is your message to the world that you reflect upon your music? I guess what he's saying, if your music had one message, or if you wanted to have a message, what would that be?
I'd say I really love doing inspirational music, and I feel like if I can inspire one person out of this, that really makes everything worth it. But I'd say love. Really, just the heart of it is love, and I'd say that's the message. Really, just love yourself, love other people, love life. You know what I mean? Because as far as you know, you only get one.
Sure, absolutely, and that's coming from Jesse that was in a dark place at once, and then you I guess you found love at 17. And you probably thought there was no such thing at that time.
No, I wouldn't say so. I was definitely still finding myself and still figuring it all out.
Sure, absolutely. Now, there comes a time, I think, in everybody's life where the Padawan maybe becomes stronger than the teacher, than the Jedi. So at that time, the Jedi has to maybe pass that Padawan along to somebody else. Now, that kind of happened with you guys, right?
Yes.
Did I blow your mind with the Star Wars reference? Did I blow your mind? Because I'm a dork, and I can't help it.
I love Star Wars.
I'm a Star Wars person.
I'm so glad you said that.
So speaking of being a dork, let me throw this out there real quick before we hear the story, Aria. I want dorky pictures from both of you.
Oh gosh,
I
there's so
love
many.
it. I love it. We'll send it. We can definitely do that.
You can tweet those to me or leave them on Facebook or email or whatever. But what I'll do is I'll put them in the Dork Hall of Fame on the Wobble Wall, and it's called the Working on Being Awesome Wall. And then you'll be immortalized with other great dorks of the world.
Oh,
and,
I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And then people can click on your picture, and it'll take them to your Twitter too.
Oh, cool.
Nice, awesome.
Yeah. So us dorks, we have to stick together.
We do. There's not that many of us anymore, man.
Oh, you'd be surprised.
No, they're in the closet.
Exactly. There are a lot of closet dorks out there, and that's kind of the underlying theme of this show. It's okay to be yourself. You know, step from the closet, embrace the light of your dorkhood, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what we work on in the show, and then you guys just fit right in. Not only are you dorks, but I mean, you also have that inspirational message as well. So
I like Star Wars.
Exactly. I'm so excited about the new Star Wars movies coming out.
I know. Me too.
I could go on all day about this.
They just gave a name. They just gave a name to the newest one. I forgot what it was called. I just saw it, but I forgot what it was called. But it's going to take place, I think, 30 years after the first one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh!
After the original movie, yes. So it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm nerding out about this. The Star Wars is going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. So okay. So what happens? I guess when you feel like you can't give Jesse any more. I guess what would that be called? I don't even know what that's called. Like when you feel like you've reached your limit with Jesse, what do you do at that point?
Well, Jesse